we're going to continue with our omni-channel theme. We've set that up, I think, extremely nicely for the day. We're now going to switch formats a little bit and take a deep dive. And that deep dive is going to be into the story of Molton Brown. Now, I know I was surprised by this. I wonder how many of you knew that Molton Brown actually started in 1971 in London, founded by two vegetarian founders, actually as a hair salon at 58 South Molton Street. I didn't know that. 10 years later, in 1984, they'd already developed their first signature scent, one that probably many of us are familiar with, orange and bergamot. I'm sure I have something downstairs. And now this has grown to be a leading eau de parfum and toilette and bath, body, hair, home collections brand that I think we're all familiar with. Since day one, Molton Brown has set itself apart in a planet-friendly mission with a real commitment to never test on animals in the 90s and through sharing its environmental statement. Now Molton Brown is continuing to transform its offering further and truly lead the way in delivering sustainable products for its customers. And we are very privileged to be joined by Naresh from Molton Brown, who's a senior manager for business transformation in the cosmetic business. Naresh's journey with KO, who owns Molton Brown, has been with over 8 years, and he's focused on business transformation and leading efforts within the cosmetic sector, encompassing iconic brands, including Molton Brown. He's going to be partnered by Sunny, who's a director of sales enablement and partnerships at Sinch, who's joining us from London. And Sunny has over 20 years within the telecom space, which has allowed him to develop a vast array of knowledge and expertise in this industry. We're going to learn a bit from them about how Molton Brown has embraced ESG, both in terms of technology choices and product offerings. And we're going to see how the brand uses their sustainability message in their omni-channel campaigns to resonate with customers and drive sales in their sustainable product lines. So without further ado, it's my privilege to hand over to Naresh and Sunny. Welcome.
Thank you, Sarah, for that introduction. So I'll just kick off from my side first. So I just wanted to say it's a real pleasure to be here today alongside Naresh from Molton Brown, and in turn give you, the audience, the opportunity to see how Molton Brown has embedded an omni-channel approach as part of their customer engagement strategy. So to kick off, I thought it would be worth just taking you through an insight as to why, as a business, it is important to be thinking about implementing an omni-channel strategy in order to engage with your consumers in a better way. So we can see that a huge amount of consumers want to be able to engage with businesses via digital channels of their choice in real time when it suits them. And it's fair to say we as consumers in today's world want to either get information or answers to our questions in real time, as opposed to having to pick up the phone or send an email to get the information, which, as we all know, can take a lot longer and the experience is not as good. Secondly, I think we've already touched on this today. Consumers are looking for the personal touch. They want businesses to know who they are and how they like to purchase and interact with them. And because of this, businesses need to outreach to their consumers with a personalized targeted way that resonates with them. The end goal is to entice them to purchase, the product or services that they're selling. Thirdly, consumers are looking to interact with a business for service and support related queries via digital channels. By having this in place, it can help lead to repeat purchases and it ultimately help drive up sales. So just another reason why businesses need to consider that omni-channel strategy. So just moving on, the big question is, where can you as a business talk to your customers? Well, from this slide, you can see that the figures are quite astounding on what channels they're using on a regular basis. And I think it's worth also pointing out that if you have a customer base that contains multiple age groups, it's worth considering how you communicate with them today. For example, the millennials, Gen Z, the metaverse, research out there is showing that they often will only engage with a business by using digital channels rather than picking up the phone, for example. And therefore, if you haven't got that omni-channel approach, you could be missing out on engaging with a large part of your customer base. So with the business hat on, the big question is, how can we as a business benefit from an omni-channel strategy? Well, research out there is in fact telling us that businesses are likely to see an increase in their revenues, a reduction in OPEX due to it being more cost effective to serve their consumers as opposed to, for example, inbound calls or sending letters. And finally, they're seeing a big improvement in their NPS scores due to businesses providing an improved customer experience. So that was just a brief insight on how consumers would like to interact with businesses today. I'll now hand you over to Naresh, who will take you through the Molton Brown story.
Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, everyone, for the panel also to arrange such a great platform for interact with other marketers as well. And as Sarah mentioned, Molton Brown is one of the leading brands for under Cow Global Cosmetics portfolio. We started in 1971, and today it is in one of the top in the Cow Global Cosmetics portfolio as a leading brand, as a premium brand. We started growing from a small-scale artisans into a leading international fragrance brand as it's today. We are present in multiple channels, stores, websites, travel retail, and luxury department stores, and also most esteemed hotels in the world. So based on the conversation with lead of the experts that we heard about the connected customer experience or the digital transformation, a lot of things needs to come into play. So we did take a step of digital transformation journey 3.5 years ago to understand how do we reach the consumers in terms of across different channels. Starting from this, when you see on the screen is like, we had a very static content, and the content, our objective was the content needs to resonate well in terms of our culturalities and modern heritage communities in terms of our content strategy. Even though the content is very static, we wanted to understand whether it is resonating our consumers across different channels, and how do we ensure the content is talking to the consumers through our channels. This is something was very important for us. And also, as you see in the left side, the images are more product focused, and really the main objective is to drive the conversion as a marketer or the digital transformation aspect of it. So we did do the analysis, we did some auditing in-house, and we wanted to change, or we need to shift it. We wanted to shift our content strategy from more storytelling to not only to a better engagement, but also to showcase a brand better, focusing on our brand pillars, quality, individuality, and also our brand aspect as well. So if you see on the right side, it's more evolving in terms of the engaging content as well. So it's more of, you have videos, you have more running content, you have more of responsive design, and also in terms of the content, which is more engaging aspect of it. And that is where it's changed the game of showing of how people were seeing the traffic on the site got increased, the images or the products what we have established there, they were able to come back to us and understand about what is this product about, and they were trying to be more engaged from the consumer point of view. And this is some of the example I wanted to show. And in terms of going through as a brand itself, as I mentioned before, we had a lot of, we are existing in multiple channels in the market. So whether it is travel or whether it is standalone stores, outlet, wholesale, and hotel and retail distributors and e-commerce, whichever channel you go. For example, you go to an e-commerce site and you see our product category where you have bath and body, and when you see the products, and at the same time you walk to the store, you'll see the same way in the aisle also the products has been stored. So consumer will never get confused. Consumer will get more seamless experience to understand, oh, I saw this on the e-commerce site, and when I go to the store, I see the same section of the product as well. So that was also a game changer for us to bring that into our strategy as well. In travel retail, we have very high interest in showing our culture, and also about, for example, we are existing in Duffy Global. We wanted to ensure our omni-channel experience presence can continue in the travel aspect as well. And also from the standalone store, we have 50 plus stores in the UK and a couple of stores in the US and across the globe as well. And also when you go to when the consumer walk to the outlet, you can also see multiple products based on in the aisle or etc. And wholesale and hotel, we are also existing in one of the leading hotels in the world as well. So just to give a background of our content strategy, not only resonates just e-commerce, across all the channels we want to work on how to bring the consumer journey into seamless experience as well. All that we are also offering virtual consultations, because this is also something consumers would like to understand about whether they're following ESG or are they going to resonate their needs as well. So that also helped us to understand what consumers is really looking for. Also, one thing we learned, the more and more we feel that we know the consumers with all the technology, but more and more we realize that we don't know our consumers, because consumers are always changing. They're always learning about different, and they're smart more than our brands as well. So they always want to know any product today, how sustainable it is, which is great initiative from the environment perspective as well. So we did launch virtual consultations, so consumers can go to the store, they understand what is it's offering from the virtual consultation aspect, and they get all the information from the products, etc. What I would like to show next is about the content, which I brought the strategy of more engaging content. This is something that if you see in terms of the different channels, for example, what you see on the first slide is more engaging content. Instead of consumer goes to the website and see, okay, what is the content I'm looking for? At the same time, we wanted to ensure the content is more resonating in terms of what consumer would like to see. And the category across the fragrance, across the bath, body lotion, everything was more apt. And we wanted to also show different content across different channels, because if you see Gen X or Gen Z or millennials, they go to different channels. And Gen Z, for example, they don't like any more emails. They like everything to be on the phone, and they want to have it in the email messages and apps, for example. So we wanted to have this content what you go across different channels, different content, but it still provides the right message for that particular generation as well. And the last one I wanted to show in this aspect of is about the engaging content. About if you see the content is more engaging in terms of showing about it's also more responsive, and the consumer goes to Instagram, they saw different content. But if you go to a Facebook or any other channel, you go to different content, but still the content is giving the right information for that particular consumer as well. So we also tied up with several ambassadors as well in terms of the content. So in terms of the content was also about the brand ambassadors, which is also our good partnerships in terms of bringing the campaign at the brand level. And this has been helping also in terms of our bringing the advocacy for the particular content. And the next slide is wanted to show about different channels, about Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So in terms of the Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, we had multiple channels where you can see a snapshot of how big is our channel in terms of the traffic. This is also in terms of we are able to measure every day in terms of our data analysis and statistics as well, which is really helping in terms of bringing the customer experience across different channels. So seeing the content shift across different channels is also important for any marketer to understand about why it is, whether it is email or social, or whether it is website or editorial, the content we wanted to have that content strategy. At the same time, the technology behind it also needs to help in our digital touch points, because we have e-commerce, we have stores, we have standalone stores, we have also about the social media channels. The consistency of the content and the technology behind it is going to help in terms of bringing the seamless journey. I'll also talk about the technology in a couple of minutes as well. So in terms of the technology, it's very important to understand there is a lot of technology stack or SaaS partners or in the world. There's multiple technology in any brand can bring into play. But our commerce strategy is very clear in terms of enabling the omnichannel experience with data. with own channels, with third-party channels as well. So all the own channels, we have retail, website, and IoT, and third-party channels, we have metaverse and marketplace. And we bring all that enabling in terms of the data analytics and also the omnichannel experience. As we heard from the panel about data is very important for us, whether we have a data analytics team who does do the analysis across all the channels. So we are able to understand which channel is performing better and where do we need to enhance and ensure there is a seamless experience, doesn't have any impact. In terms of showing one more layer of what is all this, how does this all been built in terms of the presentation layer or the front-end integration layer. So these are the tech stack just to show about how this experience pillars of the experience orchestration is being built behind the scenes. Even though there is a underlying technology has a strong digital platform aspect of it, but still at the end of the day, we want to ensure consumer doesn't care about what technology you use. At the end of the day, they need to have a seamless experience. So we as a business needs to partner with the right technology and right tech stack and understand whether this technology is enabling the customer success rather than bringing some challenges. Technology should always help the brands like us to be successful and to provide the consumers what they would like to achieve. And also, would like to share about question,
Naresh. Just to ask you on that one on the previous slide. How did you find the implementation of the omnichannel strategy for Molton Brown? With that complex tech stack. And when did you engage with your internal stakeholders, if you did, and your partners? And the second question, just to follow on, is you've recently gone live with both Sinch and Emarsys, and how your experience with that has been so far.
Yeah, it's a great question. In terms of bringing the omnichannel experience, having multiple partners, the biggest learnings from our partnership is with multiple SaaS partners or any big technology partners like SAP, Emarsys, Sinch, for example. There has been an immense value of collaboration and synergy right upfront. What we wanted to achieve when we bring all the partners together, we wanted to understand the strengths and resources from these partners, and also to understand what they can do for the business like us, and we can collectively drive that innovation and achieve that growth. That is very critical in terms of aligning with bringing the partners together and to ensure the journey is working together as well. That is the key. And it takes time in terms of to understand, to bring the right partner, for example, implementation partner or the business strategy, everything needs to be aligned. So the key is align upfront what is the business would like to achieve and how the technology can play a role, and align upfront with that. In terms of Emarsys Go Live, we recently went Emarsys Go Live a couple of weeks ago. Now we are at the IP warm-up process. It's been a great experience in terms of driving Emarsys. We had a marketing cloud before. Now we would like to see in terms of the Emarsys itself. We did connected with email channel, web channel, and also we had some smart insights from retail, and we did some integration of the couple of like Annex Cloud, Kickbox, Sinch, for example, and also Commerce Cloud integration. So we are now looking in terms of once the IP warm-up is completed, what is the planned innovations from big companies like SAP or Emarsys, for example. So there is also artificial intelligence. Can we find AI? Can we bring AI product finder in terms of Emarsys and commerce we have? Can it help us to bring the intuitive search for the brand's extensive product catalog? And this is an example. So we can definitely we are thinking from that direction, but we're still working hand in hand with the innovation, what has been planned, and how can we bring value to Molton Brown business in terms of populating more sales subscription, for example.
Yeah, so you're saying basically it's key to engage all internal stakeholders and partners from the onset, as you did with this project. So, and hence why it's been a success.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a great question. Just to show to the audience about our reference architecture level, we do have experience orchestration in business systems. This is a key. When you're defining a technology, please know about what is that technology can bring an experience aspect and what is the product versus how does it going to help the business processes as well, because that's underlying technology with the business process, and the experience orchestration is a key for enabling seamless experience. Also in terms of ESG is something is very highly critical in terms of our KPI as well, and ESG is the top KPI for our leadership team. And we were able to, whether we start from the people or from the products or in terms of the how enables ESG as a number one strategy. So in whether we do technology strategy or products, it all comes back to the how sustainable we are in our choices, because it's important for us to also see how does our product planning starts with the technology strategy as well. So we also launched refillable solutions in terms of eliminating all the plastics recently in 2023. And that has been a game changer to understand from the business and from the consumers as well, because as soon as we launched the refillable bottles for Molton Brown, so we can see there is a 22% average order volume average order value has been increase. That means as an ESG shopper spends an average 22% per order compared to the customer not buying ESG related product. Customers these days comes to Molton Brown and say how sustainable, for example, in 2023. And then we understood the customers are not only just buying the products across the market, they also want to know how sustainable it is. And also if you see the frequency of purchase has been rapidly increased from 38 to 38%, which was 1.7 times versus 1.3 times versus non-ESG customer. And also we have 68% of the customer value, which equates almost 120 pounds versus 50 or 60 pounds without the non-ESG customer as well. So that's is something that we now focus also in terms of our future of ESG as well. So we have planned a variety of ESG initiatives to grow our ESG presence even further. With this particular ESG sustainability and refillable bottles, we also launched loyalty program. We have planned various ESG reward club points, promotions through 2023, and we continue to focus on that and see how can we promote consumers to use more refillable bottles and much beneficial for the environment. And Rewards Club is helping. And also we opened subscription channel. We're going live in a couple of weeks in terms of can we have the consumers to get their regular subscription for the ESG customers as well. And customers also can have that complete life cycle of Molton Brown in terms of the campaign or promotions, what we do. So we're all connecting with Emarsys, commerce, and loyalty programs as well. This is
Naresh, sorry, just had another question there. So on the ESG side, so it looks like Molton Brown have really embraced the ESG as part of their strategy. So would it seem that customers are factoring ESG in as part of their buying decision with Molton Brown now?
Yeah, so one of the key for us to better focus on sustainability strategy was strategic sales driver, because we first recognized the growing consumer demand for the sustainable products and services. By integrating sustainability into our core strategy, we have the competitive edge in terms of bringing the brand loyalty, etc. With that, connecting to another block is about the seamless omnichannel experience, and the digital strategies are crucial in this effort. So providing consistent customer experience across all touch points, leveraging data-driven insights, and also to understand how it can enhance the effectiveness of sustainability initiatives is going to be a key point to understand. Aligning all these efforts with the ESG goals has really ensured us to have a holistic approach, address the environmental, social, and governance aspects, and also bring the transparency to the leadership team as well. So just to show about the final show we have is about one of the refillable bottles, which has been very successful for us, and which I wanted to show a snapshot of how it looks. And also I wanted to show about the store which we have in Dubai, which is a flagship store, which resonates our content strategy as well.
Yeah, if I can just take a moment there, thanks Naresh, I think it's worth just wrapping up before we go to questions. So I think the three key takeaways for the audience today are businesses who are considering an omnichannel approach in order to help with engagement with their consumers. It will help drive sales and increase NPS scores, as well as enhance the customer experience. When businesses are looking to embark on an omnichannel journey, they need to engage both internal stakeholders as well as external partners right from the onset in order for it to be a success. And finally, consumers are now factoring in ESG as part of their buying decisions. research is showing more and more consumers think brands should be more transparent about their environmental impact of their products. That's our talk done. So over to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you, Sunny, for wrapping things up. Thank you, Naresh, for everything you shared. We're almost out of time, but I got one question come in, Naresh, I'd like to put to you. What advice would you have for other marketers who are looking to expand their omni-channel sophistication from the standpoint of someone who has a very sophisticated omni-channel approach already and is only looking to make that more so?
Yeah, great question, Sarah. So in terms of for marketeers looking to expand their omni-channel sophistication, it's crucial to start by understanding the complete consumer customer journey for that particular brand or product or for the company. Mapping out all the touch points and personalizing interactions based on the customer data can significantly enhance engagement and satisfaction. That is number one. And second one is leveraging data and analytics is a key driver. Integrating data from all channels to get the unified view of customer will help the leadership team to understand where they need to drive the advanced analytics to derive actionable insights, and also can inform marketing strategies to improve overall customer experience. And the third one is about technology. Investing in technology the right technology is essential because robust omni-channel platforms and automation tools can streamline marketing efforts and also ensure consistent messaging across all channels. And the last one would be about the enhancing customer experience. Should be a top priority. Providing a consistent and seamless experience across all channels and setting a feedback loops to continuously gather customer feedback can help in making necessary adjustments. That's what we do. We get a customer feedback continuously and we do our data analysis every day. And to summarize that, finally, collaborating between marketing, sales, and customer service teams, as well as building a strong partner ecosystem can ensure a cohesive approach to omnichannel strategies. And that would be my advice.
Thank you. That was extremely comprehensive. I think we should come back and get you to write a blog on that because that was I think that was a really good starter for things you should be thinking about. And I think also you did a great job of showing that while there's plenty of complexity, if you approach it and break it down and think it through and align to your customer, you will get to where you need to be in the end.
Agree.
Wonderful. Well, in that case, I think we're up to time. So I would like to thank you, Naresh, Sunny. Thank you so much again for your time and your contributions. I know they were certainly valued by me, and I'm sure they have been by the rest of the audience. For everybody, if there are questions you didn't get a chance to answer, you just fancied chatting one-to-one with either Naresh or Sunny, you can use their LinkedIn details to get in touch with them. And Naresh, Sunny, thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you back at a future masterclass.